Thursday and Friday, because Friday all we did was the zombie activity, so the lesson is what you missed on Thursday if you weren't here. That video is posted on our Canvas site. It's your responsibility. Go check it out. All right, so let's talk about linear functions. What is that equation that you have if you have a linear function? What is that? I like what Grant's doing. He's looking back in his notes. I like it. So Grant, whenever you figure it out and find it, let me know. What does that equation look like? What form does it need to be in? Y equals mx plus b. And what form is that called?
Standard.
It is not called standard. It's in your notes. Slope. Intercept form. Okay, so this is slope-intercept form. And what are the two things you need to create that equation? By the way, I'm pointing to them right now. I'm looking for the arrows.
M and D.
Okay, and what does M stand for? Slope. And what does B stand for? Y-intercept. Okay, so you need a slope value, or your M, coefficient of x, and you need your B value, your constant at the end. So we've been looking at creating equations if I give you a slope and a y-intercept, but what if I just give you a slope and a point? So what if I asked you to create a linear equation, or a linear function, that has a slope of 4 and passes through the point 6, 4. What if I wanted you to create a linear function that has a slope of 4 and passes through the point 6, 4? What if I told you you have everything you need to help you figure this out? Would you believe me? No. Finley says nope. You do. I want you to take the next 3 minutes to talk with the people in your group to see if you can figure it out starting right now. There's a few ways that you can solve this. You can, what I saw a lot of people doing was you could create a graph. You could create a table. You can also use the equation. I'm going to show you how you can do that with the graph.
What's that? Oh.
All right. So I have a slope of 4, and I know that it passes through the point, what was it, 6, 4? Is it 6, 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I saw a lot of you do is you graph the point. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that it passes through that point. I know that that point is included in my line. So what do I need to do with that slope to help me figure it out?
Make it into a fraction.
Okay, I'm going to make it into a fraction. So why am I making it into a fraction? What does that allow me to see? How many times you move? So it shows me the change of my y values and the change of my x values. Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Cool. So if it's a positive slope, I can increase on my y and then increase on my x, or I could decrease on my y and decrease on my x. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Well, I could put a whole bunch of points up here, but is that ever going to give me my y-intercept? No, so I'm not going to worry about those top ones for right now. I'm going to decrease and decrease, okay? Right? I have my change of y over my change of x. Do you agree? Okay. Can I keep going? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Have I figured out now where it crosses my y-axis? Where does it cross it? At what point? This goes by fives. -5, -10, -15, -20. And then I could create my line. Oh, that's not very straight. That's okay. So, do I now have my y-intercept? Yes, I have my slope. Whoops. I have my slope, which is what? 4. And what was my y-intercept that I just found? So can I create my equation? What are the only two values I need to substitute numbers in for? 4 for m, for b. So do I have the equation y equals 4x minus 20? What if I told you there was a more simpler way to do this instead of drawing a graph every time? Would you believe me?
Probably.
Alright, so let's figure out what we have. Do I have a y value with the information I was given? Do I have a y value with the information I was given?
Yeah. Yes.
What is the y value? 4. I was given a y value of 4. So could I substitute 4 in for y? Yes. Was I given an m value or a slope? What was that value? 4. Was I given an x value? What is that x value? 6. Because ordered pairs are always written x comma y. And was I given a b value? No. So, I'm going to write off to the side here that I know that my y is 4, my slope is 4, my x is 6, and my b right now is unknown. Take a look at what I have right here. 4 equals 4 times 6 plus b. Does that kind of look like a two-step equation to you? Does it have only one variable, and could I solve for that variable? I could. 4 times 6 gives me what? 24. Bring down the 4, bring down the plus b. Now what do I do to solve for b? Olivia?
You subtract 24 from each side.
24 minus 24 creates a 0. And 4 minus 24 is negative 20.
Whoa.
Whoa! Did I get the same thing I did with my graph? Whoa. Which way do you think is simpler? Raise your hand if you think the graph makes more sense to you. Can you use that? Absolutely. I encourage you to. Raise your hand if you think that these equations, you're like, ooh, I like this. Do you think this is simpler? Can you use this? Yes. Those of you that prefer the equations, do you see how the graph kind of helps prove why it works, though? Yes. Cool, right? Pretty cool, right? So let me give you another one now that I've given you some insight to do. you prefer to do it on a graph, and you would like to go get one of the whiteboards, on the back of each whiteboard there's a graph, a coordinate plane. You may get one in a moment to help you. So I want you to create a linear function that has a slope of 1/4 and passes through the point zero 6. Okay, I'm going to stop everybody because it's been 3 minutes. If I were to graph 0, 6, going over 0 and down 6, what do I have? What do I have?
Negative.
Oh,
2, 3.
bah.
Yeah, positive.
Thank you for helping me with that. 0, 6. I just graphed 0, 6. And that's on what axis?
The Y.
Do I already have my y-intercept?
Maybe.
Think about what you know about your ordered pairs. That's why I said those of you that were getting boards, I was like, you don't really need them. Okay? Think about what you know about ordered pairs. Your y-intercept, your x value will always be 0. Your x value will always be 0 if you already have your y-intercept. So, do I already have what I need to make my equation?
Yeah.
I don't need a y value here. What's my slope? 1/4. And what's my y-intercept? 6. If I were I know that the y value here is 6, slope is 1/4, x is 0, b is unknown. I could substitute each variable in that I know. Well, what's 0 times any number? It's always going to be 0. And if you add 0 to any value, does it change its value? No. So it still works that way. And I showed you how it worked on a graph. So take a look before you start doing a whole bunch of work. Take a look and see, did the problem already give you what you needed? Now, did I explicitly say your y-intercept is 6? No. I gave you what, though? I gave you what? Starts with a C. I didn't explicitly say your y-intercept was 6, but what is this called that I gave you? It's a coordinate. And does that coordinate correspond to your y-intercept? Yes. Let me give you another one. No. If you just want to say slope is this, point is this, that's fine. All right, I want you to create a linear function that has a slope of 3/2 and passes through the point 4, 0. Create a linear function. When you have your linear function, I'm going to come around and pass out a sticky note to everybody, a little one. On this sticky note, I want you to put your name at the top, and then I want you to write out the equation that you got. I only want your final equation. Understand? So I don't want you to work with the people in your group on this one. I want to see what you have learned from today. If you need the boards and stuff to help you, you may use them.